Welcome to Let's Get Down to Small Business.
Where two sibling entrepreneurs sit down to talk about what it's really like to run your own business.
I'm Gilly.
And I'm Dori.
And we are two siblings that each happen to be entrepreneurs, small business owners. And we're going to sit down today and really explore this nature versus nurture debate of entrepreneurship. So, Dori, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Cool. So I'm Dori, the older, better looking, funnier, just kidding, sibling. And I own two in-person food brands. One is called Bites and Blends in Drescher. It's a juice and smoothie salad sandwiches concept, very quick service. And the other brand is called Wake Coffee. It's a coffee shop. We do wholesale coffee. We roast. We have a cafe. Hot food items, and that's in Ambler, Pennsylvania. And one of my other accessory ones is a juice company called Rebel Juicery that we sell at Bites and Blends.
I love that Dori said in person because there's so much like in entrepreneurship now. I feel like everyone's owning AI or like e-commerce, so like it's really almost rare in a way to meet like in-person brick and mortar entrepreneur. All right, so I'm Gilly. I'm his younger sister. I know we're saying younger, older. We're only like 16 months apart. We're like maybe technically Irish twins, but for age, Dori's 30. I'm 28, turning 29 soon. I own Pink Chili Agency. I'm the co-founder. It's a Gen Z social media agency. We specialize in TikTok marketing for tech companies. I started it 3.5 years ago, coming on 4 years. My co-founder, Noam, is based in Tel Aviv. That's where we started it. And we have 2 employees. We get to work with a lot of cool companies in the tech ecosystem, everything from small, tiny startups that are kind of exiting stealth mode to massive tech companies. We work with dating apps, fintech companies, B2B SaaS. So really 2 different types of businesses and industries and entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial ventures that Dori and I are in. And I want to ask Dori, I think the reason we wanted to start this podcast is a question that we ourselves think about a lot, we get a lot, is like, how is it that both of you started your own business at a young age? Was there something in the flea cop milk at home that we were eating as kids? So I guess, Dori, do you think that there's a reason that you and me both have the entrepreneurial bug? Do you think it's like in our DNA?
Yeah, I think it is a mix of how we grew up, and I think it's mostly from our parents. Right, our parents work together. They own their own medical practice, and there was really no separation between like home and work. And you and I spent a lot of time there doing secretarial work and water lugging up and down the stairs.
10-year-old being like, "Hi, you are calling the doctor's office. Can I make your appointment?"
Yeah, and I was upstairs in the office
carrying water coolers,
things, or building like a fort. But yeah, I think with like how we were raised, there was like, we call him Abba, but like Abba, our dad, always talked about like it's difficult to work for other people, and he wouldn't like want to go back into the hospital, right? He worked for himself. And we kind of saw it firsthand. So I don't think it was pushed on us, but I think it was gently nudged on us, and it was encouraged. And that what kind of like spiraled us into like, you and I, we went to college together, but like talking about that stuff in college.
Right. I think also like to jump in, we had like a really democratic household. Like I don't remember there ever being rules in a way. Like it wasn't like curfews at 10 or like you're going to be grounded if you do this. Like it was very much so like we were treated like adults from a very young, like I don't ever remember not being treated like an adult. And I think in a way that like unlimited trust and autonomy kind of made me feel, and I feel like you too, just like so independent. The fact that like we could decide and think about things, we like were able to develop leadership skills from a young age as well.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about the Dr. Pepper story, which is like a childhood classic. Dori, do you want to share one of our formative experiences?
I mean, this is my first, I guess, attempt at entrepreneurship, and my most successful
great way of saying it.
venture. It's the greatest business I've ever had and will ever have in my entire life. Very illegal, but basically it started out with some kids requesting Dr. Peppers that I had. So I traded with them in elementary school. And one thing led to another. My dad kept buying me cases of Dr. Pepper at Sam's Club because he thought I loved them. And I would bring like 3 to 5 bottles and I would trade them for homework, for money, in the
He was like selling
bathroom.
them out of his backpack.
And
Like
it was great. Kids were doing my writing homework and then they would give it to me and then I would give them the Dr. Pepper and they would give me $2 and they
little
would get
did
Dr.
my
Pepper.
like innocent dad was like, "Wow, Dory, you're really like slurping down this Dr. Pepper's." Like my dad just continues to buy them for him. Dory had no
And
cost
then you ruined
basis.
it.
Yeah, I snitched. I will admit. I don't really remember it, but apparently I came to my dad and was like, "You're so stupid. Like Dory's selling Dr. Pepper out of his
Yeah.
backpack at school." But I think
But that was my first
yeah,
venture.
I think it goes to show like Dory always much more than me, but like Dory always constantly was obsessing and thinking and dreaming about how he could start and build and sell. And I think like that story, it really is the dream ultimate business model because you had no overhead costs and just direct profit
Yeah.
into your pocket.
But it also kind of like speaks to how we have similar traits, but we're also completely different, right? We
Yeah.
ended up at the same place, but I was six from the bottom, you were six from the top in
Yeah.
college.
We have to explain that.
So, well, it's pretty obvious. I was graduated six from the bottom in my class, and you graduated six from the top.
So Dora and I went to college together, and my dad's joke is both my kids graduated number six, and then he waits, and then his dad joke is, well, Dory's six from the bottom and Gilly's six from the top, and so
And I'm the reason you're six and not like one or two.
yeah,
But
basically, yeah, there's been I think like that's another interesting
you
thing to
always hold that
analyze.
against me as well.
Yeah, I do hold it against Dory because basically what ended up happening. So we had this like really, really autonomous childhood, lots of creativity, lots of freedom, which is so funny. I always tell my friends, as now a lot of us are like thinking about having kids and having kids, I'm like, it's so contradictory, but like the less rules we had at home, the less rebellious I wanted to be. So I think
Yeah.
all of this contributed to just like me wanting to overachieve, me wanting to study. My parents never once, I don't remember ever once Ema or Abba being like, open your homework, I want to check that you did it. Like no one checked my homework, it just like did it. And I think that really contributes to like me wanting to achieve. And me, you know, we have an immigrant mom, and she's great and she's fierce and she's amazing, but she doesn't, you know, speak English so well. And I think me always wanting to like impress her and be proud and kind of be like that. We were like on my mom's side, like first generation college. So I think a lot of like it was like this perfect recipe of entrepreneurship, and trying to kind of put my finger on it. So Dora and I went to college together. I mean, not together. He went to a small liberal arts college in Allentown, Pennsylvania called Muhlenberg. Um, I was kind of looking at like Ivy League schools and kind of thinking about a different approach. And my dad, who's the most convincing, persuasive human ever, just would drive me up there like on weekends to just like see Dory and like hang out. And he would just be like, "Isn't the food here so good? Aren't the people so nice here? Aren't you just gonna love it here?" And then eventually, I think it was just like, what's it called? Like Pavlov's dog or some sort of experiment when
You
you were saying,
eventually ended up saying like, "Oh,
like,
it'd be great
okay,
here," and then
yeah,
next
okay,
thing you're forced to take an art class with me
yeah,
because I needed to take art class, and it was the first class that you got below a A in, and I
yeah.
got the same grade as you, as like a B plus. Was my first B plus ever,
Yeah, so Dory
and
basically was like, so we went to college together, and Dory was like, "I have this art requirement, please take it with me." And I was like, "All right, like I don't need to, but I'll take it for fun." And like I didn't, it's the only class that I didn't get an A in college, which looking back is so ridiculous and silly. But Dory and I have a joke that because of him, I didn't graduate top of my class, which is fine. I think everything's for the best. But I think if we think about college as well, like, did you know in college, like, Dory studied business, I studied philosophy. Did you know, like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur? Like, I'm going to graduate and I'm going to like start my own business.
no, I mean like talking in the college we went to really pushed people towards accountant and jobs in that world.
Mm-hmm.
So it really wasn't entrepreneurial. And then we took that entrepreneurial class,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of like just reading what other people did.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of dumb. So there wasn't really a good layout.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I would like work for somebody, but I also didn't know what entrepreneur I was gonna be.
Right.
So it was like,
It's like gray area.
yeah, it was like kind of like didn't know what was gonna happen, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't molded yet to figure out what my next steps were.
Right. I feel like the same way in a way, but differently. Like I studied philosophy and religion. I think Dori and I both felt lost, question mark, not like lost, I don't know what to do, but like not in like a impending doom way, but like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I don't, again, goes back to our parents. I don't think we felt this pressure to like go intern at like accounting firms or like have these crazy New York internships. I think we just like enjoyed college for what it was and asked questions and learned. I mean, me more than Dori. He was at the gym 90% of the time and I was studying. But and that actually being at the gym, CrossFit was like one of the first, I guess, like
Yeah, that's what led
ventures
me
and what led
into.
you into, and you'll share about that as well. But I think so Dori hinted at we took a entrepreneurship 101 class together. And I remember like sitting there and we're like reading these textbooks and we're reading about these entrepreneurs. And I just remember thinking like, I don't know if you can actually learn this. Like I feel like, and I guess maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but like I feel like a part of you can learn it, but a part of you just like has to be deep within you. And I feel like, was there something as we like wrap up, was there something that you can pinpoint that like whether in college or earlier on or even earlier on in your entrepreneurial days, like that you really kind of learned or like was able to, I don't know.
I mean, it was always inside of me. I never knew what was gonna happen. I mean, my freshman year, I had maybe shared this story before, but my freshman year, I had an idea, wrote a letter to the founder of Whole Foods, and was like, "Hey, you need to open up small Whole Foods in airports so that people like me that were really healthy, that wanted to eat really like clean and not eat junk at the airport, can just pick up something from the kiosk,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be super small and just be the, you
And this
know,
is like before ChatGPT, so he had to write this letter
yeah." So I
himself.
wrote a
It's
letter
good.
and then I signed it and sent it to this guy, and I like in the back of my head I thought he would like respond back to me and be like, "Come work for me at Whole Foods and drop out of college," because he dropped out of college and I wanted to drop out of college. No, I didn't hear
No
anything
response.
back, so I graduated from college,
I didn't
but
know this
that was
story.
my like first, I guess, first step into entrepreneurship, but I didn't know
But it's
like.
funny because like looking back, like a lot of people ask me like, "Oh, like did you know in college you wanted to eventually go start your own company?" And like I say no, but then looking back, my friends will tell me stories like this, and it's like, "Oh, did I actually do like you don't it's almost like a muscle thing. Like you didn't realize that all these things actually are so entrepreneurial." Like and
Yeah,
we have many of other stories in other episodes, but I feel like the Dr. Pepper story to like go back in that moment when you're like 10 years old, you don't think like, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, but like your innate muscle memory was like, well, I'm getting these Dr. Peppers and I want to use it to my benefit. So I'm going to
yeah.
like do basic economic
Write 10
trading.
sentences for me and I'll give you Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
So,
Hi guys, it's Gilly here in the future in the editing stage, and I realized that Dori and I did not do an outro. It was our first time recording our first episode ever, so I want to thank you so much for listening to Let's Get Down to Small Business episode 1, and stay tuned because in the next episode we're going to be talking about our biggest failures and mistakes that we both have made as entrepreneurs. So be sure to join in for episode 2, and thanks again.